You walk into a room, people glance at you, then look away. Your ideas get dismissed, your voice gets ignored. Sound familiar? So this isn't about them, this is about you. Right now, as you're listening to these words, you might be thinking about that meeting, the one where nobody acknowledged your brilliant suggestion, or that conversation where someone interrupted you mid-sentence, or that moment when you felt invisible, even though you were standing right there. Here's what nobody tells you. The way people treat you isn't random. It's not luck. It's not because they're mean or unfair. It's because of signals you're sending. The signals you might not even know you're broadcasting. Every interaction is a conversation, but not the kind you think. There's the conversation with words, and then there's the deeper conversation, the one happening beneath the surface, the one that determines everything. Your body speaks first. Your energy enters the room before you do. Your beliefs about yourself, they're written all over your face. People read you in seconds. They decide your worth before you say a word. This isn't cruel. It's human nature. But here's the thing that will change your life. You can rewrite this story. You see, I've spent decades understanding human behavior, watching patterns, seeing what works and what doesn't. And I've discovered something profound about respect. Respect isn't something you demand, it's something you embody. Let me tell you about someone I know. Brilliant person, Harvard MBA, but in every meeting they apologized before speaking. Sorry, but I think. This might be wrong, but I'm probably overthinking this. Their ideas were gold, their delivery was garbage. They were telling everyone they didn't believe in themselves, so why should anyone else? Your words reveal your inner world. When you constantly apologize for existing, people believe you. When you minimize your contributions, others will too. But it goes deeper than words. Watch how you sit. Do you take up space or shrink into corners? Do you make eye contact or study your shoes? Do you speak from your chest or whisper from your throat? Your body is having a conversation you're not aware of. Someone else taught me this lesson. Successful business person on paper, but they slouched through life. Shoulders curved inward, eyes downcast, voice barely audible. They wondered why clients chose their competitors. The answer was standing right in front of the mirror. Their posture said, I don't belong here. Their handshake said, I'm not sure about myself. Their voice said, please don't pay attention to me. And people honored their request. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't take you seriously because you don't take yourself seriously. You treat your own thoughts as suggestions, your own opinions as possibilities, your own presence as an inconvenience. This shows up everywhere, in how you set boundaries, in how you state your prices, in how you ask for what you need. Someone I worked with learned this the hard way. Freelance designer, incredible talent, but they negotiated like they were asking for charity. Well, I usually charge this much, but if it's too expensive, I know you probably have better options. I understand if you can't afford my rate. They were sabotaging themselves with every word. Their clients heard uncertainty. They smelled desperation. They offered half their rate and expected them to be grateful because that's what they taught them to do. Your relationship with money reveals your relationship with yourself. If you can't confidently state your worth, neither can anyone else. But money's just one example. This pattern shows up in relationships too. Someone came to me devastated. Their partner left them for someone else. They said I was too needy, they told me, but I just wanted to make sure they were happy. They confused neediness with love. They confuse people-pleasing with caring. They ask permission to have opinions. They apologize for having needs. They made themselves smaller so their partner could feel bigger. And their partner lost respect for them because they lost respect for themselves. When you constantly seek approval, you give away your power. When you make other people responsible for your happiness, they become burdened by your emotional weight. People respect those who can stand alone, not because they don't care about others, but because their happiness doesn't depend on others. This is where it gets dangerous. When you don't respect yourself, you attract people who don't respect you either. You become a magnet for takers, for manipulators, for those who need someone beneath them to feel good about themselves. It's a vicious cycle. The less respect you have for yourself, the more you attract disrespectful treatment. The more disrespectful treatment you receive, the less you respect yourself. And somewhere in this cycle, you start believing it's all you deserve. Listen carefully. This belief will destroy your life. When you believe you don't deserve respect, you stop asking for it. You accept crumbs and call them meals. You normalize toxic behavior and blame yourself for others' poor treatment. That you become a victim of your own low expectations. I've seen brilliant people waste decades in this trap. Talented individuals who never reached their potential because they couldn't see their own worth. The cost isn't just professional, it's deeply personal. Your children, watch how you let others treat you. They learned that this is normal, that this is love, that this is what relationships look like. Your friends start seeing you as the one who always gives but never receives, the safe choice, the backup plan, the one who will always be there no matter how poorly they behave. Your romantic partners lose attraction, not because you're not good enough, but because attraction requires tension. And there's no tension with someone who always says yes, always accommodates, always diminishes themselves. Respect and attraction are connected. When you respect yourself, others feel compelled to do the same. But when you don't, they can't. It's impossible to respect someone who won't respect themselves. Here's what most people miss. Respect starts from within. It's an inside job. You can't fake your way to authentic respect. You can't manipulate others into treating you better while treating yourself poorly. The transformation begins when you start paying attention to your internal dialogue. Right now, pause and listen. What voice is playing in your head? What story are you telling yourself about who you are and what you deserve? Is it kind? Is it supportive? Is it the voice you'd want your best friend to hear? Most people would never speak to others the way they speak to themselves. The cruelty is reserved for the person in the mirror. You call yourself stupid when you make mistakes. You call yourself lazy when you need rest. You call yourself selfish when you have needs. And then you wonder why the world treats you poorly. Your internal dialogue becomes your external reality. The voice in your head eventually becomes the voice others hear when they look at you. Change the conversation inside, and the conversation outside changes too. Start noticing your patterns. When do you shrink? When do you apologize for existing? When do you make yourself smaller? These moments are doorways, opportunities to choose differently. Instead of sorry, but I think, try, here's my perspective. Instead of this is probably wrong, try, I'd like to suggest something. Instead of I'm not sure, but try stating your idea with confidence. Your certainty gives others permission to take you seriously. But this goes beyond words. It's about energy, it's about presence, it's about the unshakable knowing that you belong here. When you truly believe you have something valuable to offer, others believe it too. When you know you deserve respect, respect flows naturally. This isn't about becoming arrogant. Arrogance is overcompensation for insecurity. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to prove itself. Think about the people you respect most. They're not the loudest in the room. They're not the ones demanding attention. They're the ones comfortable in their own skin. They speak when they have something to say. They listen because they're genuinely interested. They take up their rightful space without apology. You can become this person. but it requires you to do something most people never do. You have to face the truth about yourself, the uncomfortable, inconvenient truth about where you are and why you're there. Maybe you don't respect yourself because you're not living according to your values. Maybe you're saying yes when you mean no. Maybe you're tolerating behavior you know is wrong. Maybe you've been so busy trying to be what others want that you've forgotten who you actually are. This is the work, the real work, not changing how others see you, but changing how you see yourself. When you start honoring your own boundaries, others will too. When you start treating yourself with kindness, the world responds in kind. When you start believing you deserve good things start showing up. But you have to go first. You have to be the one who changes the pattern. Stop waiting for others to give you permission to respect yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start valuing your own worth. Stop waiting for someone else to see your value before you do. The person you're waiting for is you. Society teaches us to dim our light so others feel comfortable, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're different, especially if you threaten the status quo, simply by being yourself. But here's what society doesn't tell you. When you dim your light, everyone loses. The world loses your gifts, your contributions, your unique perspective that only you can offer. Think about the last time you had a brilliant idea but kept it to yourself. What would have happened if you'd shared it? Who might have benefited? What problem might have been solved? Your silence isn't humble, it's selfish. Every time you hold back, you rob the world of what it needs from you. Every time you play small, you deny others the chance to be inspired by your greatness. This is bigger than just getting respect. This is about fulfilling your purpose. You weren't born to be background music in someone else's symphony. You weren't designed to be a supporting character in your own life story. You came here with a mission, with gifts that only you possess, with a voice that only you can speak. But somewhere along the way, you learned to muffle that voice, to hide those gifts, to abandon that mission. And now you wonder why life feels empty, why success feels hollow, why achievement feels meaningless. Because you're living someone else's version of your life. Let me share something profound. The people who respect you most aren't those you try hardest to please. They're those who see you standing firmly in your truth. Amanda discovered this when she stopped trying to be the perfect employee. She'd spent years saying yes to everything, working late, taking on extra projects, never complaining, and she was invisible, overlooked for promotions, underpaid, taken for granted. One day, she said no to an unreasonable request. Her boss was shocked. Her colleagues were surprised. But something interesting happened. They started asking her opinion. They started including her in important decisions. They started seeing her as valuable because she finally saw herself as valuable. Your boundaries teach people how to treat you. When you have none, you get trampled. When you enforce them kindly but firmly, you get respected. But setting boundaries requires you to disappoint people, to risk their anger, to accept that not everyone will like you. And this is where most people fail. They'd rather be liked than respected. They'd rather be accepted than authentic. They'd rather be comfortable than courageous. But you can't have both. You can't be everyone's favorite and still be yourself. You can't please everyone and still have integrity. Choose respect over approval. Choose authenticity over acceptance. Choose courage over comfort. The people who matter will support this choice. The ones who don't weren't your people anyway. Let me tell you about the invisible wounds you carry. Every time someone dismissed your ideas, a little piece of your confidence died. Every time you were interrupted, you learned to speak quieter. Every time your feelings were invalidated, you learned to trust yourself less. These wounds are real. They shape how you show up in the world. They determine what you believe is possible for you. But wounds can heal, and scars can become sources of strength. The difference between those who break and those who break through is simple. Those who break through learn to parent themselves. They learn to give themselves what others never gave them. You become your own cheerleader, your own protector, your own validator. This isn't selfish. This is survival, because if you don't believe in yourself, who will? If you don't protect your dreams, who will guard them? If you don't validate your feelings, who will honor them? The harsh truth is this: no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to validate you. No one is coming to give you permission to be great. You have to save yourself. You have to validate yourself. You have to give yourself permission. And when you do, when you truly become your own advocate, something extraordinary happens. Others start advocating for you too. But it starts with you. It always starts with you. There's something else you need to understand. Your energy is contagious. When you doubt yourself, others doubt you too. When you question your worth, others question it as well. But when you stand in your power, others feel that power. When you believe in your value, others recognize it instantly. This is why confident people seem to have everything handed to them. They don't. They just radiate an energy that makes others want to be around them, to work with them, to support them. You have this same power. You've always had it. You just forgot how to use it. Someone taught me this lesson. Brilliant programmer, exceptional skills, but they walked into every job interview like they were begging for scraps. They hunched their shoulders, avoided eye contact, spoken questions instead of statements. I think I might be good at this. I probably could learn that. I hope I'm qualified. They were talking themselves out of jobs before the interview started. One day, I asked them to pretend they were advising their best friend. What would they say about their friend's qualifications? How would they describe their friend's abilities? Their entire demeanor changed. Their voice got stronger. Their posture straightened, their eyes lit up. They're incredible, they said. Any company would be lucky to have them. That's when it clicked. They had all the skills to advocate for others. They just never learned to advocate for themselves. You do this too. You can see everyone else's brilliance except your own. You can encourage everyone else's dreams except your own. You can believe in everyone else's potential except your own. This stops now. From this moment forward, you speak about yourself the way you speak about people you love. You defend your dreams the way you defend your friends' dreams. You believe in your potential the way you believe in others' potential, because you deserve the same love you give so freely to others. But here's what happens when you start respecting yourself. Some people get uncomfortable. They liked you better when you were smaller, when you needed their approval, when you depended on their validation. Your growth threatens their comfort zone. Your confidence challenges their insecurities. Your success makes them question their own choices. They might call you arrogant. They might say you've changed. They might try to pull you back down to where you used to be. This is the test. This is where you discover what you're really made of. Do you shrink back to make others comfortable, or do you stay true to who you're becoming? The people who truly love you will celebrate your growth. They'll cheer your success. They'll support your transformation. The ones who don't, they're showing you who they really are, and more importantly, they're showing you who you don't need in your life. Your job isn't to stay small so others feel big. Your job is to become who you're meant to be, regardless of how others react. This is your life, your one precious life. Don't waste it trying to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. The world doesn't need another person trying to be someone else. The world needs you, the real you, the authentic you, the you that's been hiding behind all those masks and roles and expectations. But authenticity isn't comfortable. It's vulnerable, it's scary. It means showing up as you are, not as you think others want you to be. It means admitting when you don't know something instead of pretending you do. It means expressing your real opinions instead of echoing what's popular. It means honoring your values even when they're unpopular. This is terrifying for most people because authenticity means rejection is possible, criticism is likely, judgment is inevitable. But here's the secret. The rejection you fear is already happening. People are already dismissing you. They're just doing it politely while you exhaust yourself trying to please them. Wouldn't you rather be rejected for who you really are than accepted for who you're pretending to be? When you're authentic, you attract authentic connections. When you're real, you attract real relationships. When you're yourself, you attract people who genuinely appreciate you. The alternative is exhausting, constantly monitoring your words, constantly adjusting your personality, constantly wondering if people would still like you if they knew the real you. That's not living, that's performing. And you're tired of performing, aren't you? Tired of the mask, tired of the act, tired of being someone you're not. Today you can stop performing and start living. Today you can drop the mask and show your face. Today you can speak your truth and trust that the right people will hear it. Here's another truth that might sting. Some people in your life benefit from you staying small. Your insecurity makes them feel secure. Your doubt makes them feel certain. Your weakness makes them feel strong. These people will resist your growth. They'll tell you you're changing. They'll say you're becoming difficult. They'll make you feel guilty for becoming who you're meant to be. This is the price of evolution. Some relationships won't survive your transformation. Some connections weren't meant to last forever. And that's okay. That's growth. As you rise, you'll attract different people. Those who celebrate your strength instead of exploiting your weakness. Those who encourage your growth instead of fearing your potential. And you'll discover that the right people don't need you to be smaller. They need you to be bigger. But first, you have to get comfortable with taking up space, with being seen, with being heard. Start small. Speak up in the next meeting. Share your opinion when asked. Stop apologizing for having thoughts and feelings. Notice how it feels. The discomfort is normal. You're breaking patterns that have been years in the making. Your nervous system is designed to keep you safe. And for most of your life, safe meant invisible. Safe meant quiet. Safe meant small, but you're not in danger anymore. You don't need to hide. You don't need to shrink. The very thing you're afraid of, being seen, being judged, being criticized, is exactly what you need to embrace. Because on the other side of that fear is everything you've ever wanted. Respect, influence, impact, purpose. The transformation starts with your relationship with yourself. How you talk to yourself when you're alone, how you treat yourself when you make mistakes, how you honor yourself when no one is watching. Self-respect is a practice, like meditation, like exercise, like any other discipline that changes your life. You practice it when you keep promises to yourself, when you speak kindly to yourself, when you invest in your growth. When you protect your energy, every small act of self-respect builds your confidence. Every boundary you set strengthens your foundation. Every time you choose yourself, you become more yourself. And as you become more yourself, something magical happens. You stop needing external validation. You stop seeking approval from others. You stop waiting for permission to live your life. You become internally referenced instead of externally referenced. Your sense of worth comes from within, not from others' opinions. This is freedom, real freedom. When you're internally referenced, criticism doesn't destroy you, praise doesn't define you, others' moods don't determine your mood. You become unshakable, not because you're hard, but because you're grounded. Not because you don't care what others think, but because what you think matters most. When you truly do this work, when you genuinely become your own advocate, you radiate a different energy. People feel it immediately. They sense your self-respect, they recognize your worth, and they start treating you accordingly. But this isn't manipulation. This isn't a strategy to get others to like you. This is authentic transformation. This is becoming who you were always meant to be. The person who's comfortable in their own skin. The person who knows their value. The person who doesn't need anyone's permission to exist. This person commands respect without demanding it, attracts love without chasing it, creates success without sacrificing themselves for it. This person could be you. This person should be you. This person will be you, but only if you're willing to do the work. Only if you're willing to change the patterns. Only if you're willing to choose yourself. Right now, you have a choice. You can continue the old patterns, the old stories, the old ways of being that have brought you to this moment, or you can decide that today is different, that you are different, that you deserve more, and you're willing to do the work to get it. The world is waiting for you to respect yourself. Not so it can follow your lead, but because it already knows your worth. You're the only one who doesn't see it yet. Your value isn't determined by others' opinions. Your worth isn't up for debate. Your right to be here, to take up space, to have a voice, these aren't privileges to be earned. They're your birthright. But you have to claim them. You have to step into the truth of who you are, not who you think you should be. When you do this, everything changes. Not because the world suddenly becomes kinder, but because you become stronger. Not because people suddenly become more respectful, but because you demand nothing less than respect. And in that demand, in that quiet, unshakable knowing of your own worth, you discover something beautiful. You don't need anyone to take you seriously. You just need to take yourself seriously. And when you do, when you truly do, the whole world has no choice but to follow. But I want you to understand something important. This transformation isn't about perfection. You don't need to fix everything about yourself. You don't need to become someone completely different. You just need to remember who you already are. Beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the fear, beneath all the stories you've been told about who you should be, there's a person there who knows their worth, who trusts their voice, who stands in their power without apology. That person has been waiting for you to remember them. They've been patient while you tried to be everyone else. They've been quiet while you listened to other voices. But they're still there. They've always been there. Your job isn't to create this person. Your job is to uncover them, to peel away the layers that have been hiding them, to silence the voices that have been drowning them out. This is your moment. This is your choice. This is your life. Stop waiting for it to begin. It already has. The question is, will you finally show up for it?